I'll actually talk about these. There's a couple different theories when it comes to looking at batching versus just documenting like as you go.
I
So
want to hear this. Yeah, this is important. I
I
want to hear this.
so Brendan Kane is somebody whose content I started really diving into, and he changed my perspective on a lot of different things because I used to batch a ton of content. He was talking about how in the process of batching, it's important to not batch too much.
Okay, so this is my first question. I knew you were going to go there. What if you're a home service contractor or you're just a business owner in general? What is too much in your opinion?
Too much is like 15 to 30 videos.
Okay. Okay.
So what I would actually do is okay, let me comb through his theory a bit. So this is a guy that's focused on making people go viral. Like that's his whole organization. Hook Point, like Guide to Going Viral, that's his thing, right? And looking at these case studies and these formats, and this is another reason why I say trends are not the way for longevity and formats are. And so when you are batching and you're doing a series of maybe let's just say like 10 to 15 videos, it's almost better to do that and figure out a winning formula that is constantly showing up in people's feed than it is to do like the 30 videos. And the reason why is this is because if you batch 30, 60 videos, and a lot of corporations used to do this.
Yep.
They would batch like 60 videos, and then at the end of their quarter, they would go, how did this do? Right? And they were like, we got like 40% retention. Great job, everybody. But the reality is they were creating content, and it's almost like baking a cake. Like if you were to bake 30 cakes, right? And you have a bad recipe and you bake 30 cakes out of this bad recipe, you finish them and you're like, oh my God, I put too much baking soda in this, or like baking powder, whatever you're using to make this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's too much sugar in this. Now you have 30 cakes with the wrong recipe. And so at the end of it, you're like, this content thing isn't working. But the reality is if you just focus on like smaller case studies and focus on those short series and trying to discover like these formats that work for you, you could have less risk at the end of all your efforts.
Yeah.
And so I would encourage you to one, shorten your amount of content to be able to find winning formulas. You know, we do this in the Creators Den a lot of times with creators, and we observe things that work online. We observe how they're delivered, whether it's visually, audio, text, whatever it is, and we weigh it up against this scale of like bronze to gold content that is also a Brandon Kane um, uh, formula that he's concocted. But what you want to do is you want to look at winning formats that are online already, because the data already exists. You just have to like take time and actually identify it. A couple examples.
How would you do that?
Yeah, so a couple examples are if you see a video that is maybe it's like say like 10 to 100 million views, and you go to their profile and you see that they're constantly doing the same thing over and over. What you can say is like, oh, this is actually a format that's of storytelling that somebody's doing. A good example of that is Victory Outdoor Services and SB Mowing.
Yep.
So Victory Outdoor Services,
Oh, yeah.
he found a formula to where he just straps a GoPro to his head, and all he does is point of view. And he just clips up his day and his interactions and his responses. He throws like text on it, maybe. But the overall winning formula for him was point of view. And so we say, how did this video start? What did he do? Was it a statement? Was it an interaction? Was it him physically working on something with his hands? What is it? And so you break down that video and you say, okay, I found a format. Now, why did this format work? How did he go through the first 2 seconds to like all the way to the finish of the video? Was there text on the screen? Was there music? Was there like captions? Was there, somebody's face? Was there like your hands doing something physically? Was it ASMR? Like really get detailed on why this video actually worked. SB Mowing's another great example. He'll do a thing to where he sets up his phone on a tripod and he'll go up to people and say like, hey, your yard looks like really terrible. I actually just want to give you like a free makeover. Right. And he'll just like,
he doesn't say that though.
No, he doesn't say that. He doesn't say that. And so that's why you have to like watch the video and say like, okay,
Yep.
how did this video start? Are there two people in frame? Is he like knocking on a door to introduce someone? Is he looking at like a thing of terrible grass, like overgrown? Is he starting it off with, this person's about to, this person actually just got a fine in the mail or something like that
Yep.
because their grass is overgrown and we want to help them out. Victor the Good Boss is another one. I love Victor the Good Boss. He was a construction worker that is now taking and helping addicts that are on the street. And every single time you watch one of his videos, every single time, like, so you go to his profile and you see that there's a phone in his car pulling up to a person, asking them if they're okay and if he can help them.
Yep.
And so now what we do is we've actually analyzed like what a winning format is. And you go to his profile and you see like tens of the hundreds of millions of views off these videos. And he's starting it off the same way. He's delivering it the same way with his communication. The visuals are there. Like, and so what we can do is we can take that format and we can say, how do I apply this to what I want to tell and what I want to do in the series that I want to build? Another format is, and by the way, there's over 300 of these formats that are out there. So it's not like you cannot find a format that won't work for you. You just have to actually do the work to be able to understand the videos. And like,
is there a resource like that in Creators Den school of like?
So we actually just updated our tools section to where we have a Excel spread to where you can find these videos as well as the breakdown of how to actually analyze what is a winning format for you. There's bronze videos that get like, tens of thousands of views. There's like the silver format, which gets like anywhere from 1 to 10 million views, and then 10 million views up is like a gold format. And so we have a full index to where you can organize these videos that you find. You put the user's name and then you write your observational notes about this so that when you go to revisit the format, you can say, okay, what was about this format that we realized? And then you can actually break it down like that.
That's super helpful, because the first time you said that to me, I was like, what is a format and how the crap are the 300? And then I realized, I started thinking about the videos that I view, and there are so many formats. There's so many ways to create content.
Yeah, you've come from it from a consumer perspective versus an auditor, right?
Yep.
Of storytelling. And so what we have to do is we have to take off the consumer shoes and we have to put on the auditor shoes and say like, okay, why did this video work? Is this something that I want to do? Because like another format is man on the street.
Yep.
To where you go up to people and you go up to them and you're asking them like hot button questions.
Yep.
Right. So that's another format, but that format might not be for you because, you got to ask so many people questions and you might not get a good response. And so you're like, this is just like, it's too much work. Yeah. Right. To get like that, you might get like 3 out of 10 that you're like, I like these three are going to perform well. Yeah. So like that might not be a format that works for you.